Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about, is he boyfriend material? You know, I say this all the time, and it's absolutely true. Every situation is different, and every breakup is different. And it's so true because there are millions of different factors to every situation. And so when we're doing coachings with you guys, we're looking at so many different factors that are going to be so different from even the next caller that I'll have, or, the calls that I'll have throughout the day. There's a lot of different unique aspects of a situation. Now, we always want you to have an opportunity to get your ex back, assuming they treat you well and aren't abusive. Obviously, we don't want any of you to be with somebody who is abusive or mistreats you. We want you to have healthy, happy relationships. And sometimes, when you really start to care about somebody, we lose sight of how good are they really treating us. I mean, nobody's going to be perfect. But you do want somebody who is consistently making some effort, right? Like, if they just continually do whatever they want, don't consider you, don't consider how you feel or what you need, they're just going to get more and more checked out. Now, many of you guys with an anxious attachment style are afraid of having those confrontational conversations, bringing things up, because maybe you're afraid they're going to leave you if you do. The irony is that if you don't have those conversations and you don't hold somebody accountable, they will wind up leaving you more likely than if you do hold them accountable. Because when people have to do something, like they work for something, they appreciate it more. So if they just continually just do whatever they want, don't consider you, they lose respect for you. And then I think if somebody loses respect for you, they're going to lose love for you. So always keep in mind if you're standing up for what is really important to you. Now, that doesn't mean you fight over everything or pick every battle, but you got to really consider the things that are the most important to you in a relationship, right? So I got a really good email coaching today from somebody that's been watching our videos for about a year. Now, this woman is in her early 40s, and she says, with your help from the channel, I've realized that my partner is avoidant and I'm anxious. So we've been talking about that since I started the channel. And, it's one of the things that I'm really proud of, because when I first started talking about breakups and launched the channel, there was no information out there about attachment styles. And so I was really interested in understanding how that and mental health were a huge component of why we have breakups. And obviously, Margaret is absolutely brilliant with all her experience and her knowledge and her incredible drive to continually learn and go to conferences and read books. And so through that, over the years, we were able to just constantly learn new things and put new things together. But when we started, there was nothing about attachment styles. Go back and look before my video came out, when we launched the channel like 6.5 years ago, I think now. Nothing was out there. But now we're really starting to see the impact, and it's really enlightening a lot of people. And a lot of people are, kind of copying what we do and bringing up the things that we do. And it's good in the sense that we like to enlighten people, and we're glad that it's having a wave and effect. It's just that a lot of people don't have any kind of education or background and just kind of make stuff up, and it kind of leads to some bad advice out there too. So you got to be careful, okay? So the point is, she's been working hard for a year, working on her anxiety, and now she realizes her ex is avoidant. So she says he has full custody of his teenage son because the baby mama is an addict. All right. So that's obviously stressful. You have a teenager living with you full time. It's not your child. Can cause issues to have a teenager in the home. And, you could already hear it. You're not my real mom, right? So a lot of things like that are going to come up. My partner's son lives with us Monday through Thursday and stays with the mom on the weekends. Okay, so they do get some time away. All right, so that's good. When she said full custody, I was thinking like 24/7. We started dating in February of 2016, and we moved in together in August of 2018. When I met him, he had a full-time job and also did seasonal work as a photographer for a few months of the year, which requires travel. I'm a professional and I own my own business. It requires me to work about 60 hours a week, which I've been doing for 7 years. You can imagine how emotionally exhausting it would be to work 60 hours a week, running your business and doing all those things. When we first met, I had a much more flexible job than I do now and far less stress in my life. He encouraged me to start my business and grow it more quickly than I wanted to. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to read that again. He encouraged me to start my business, so that would feel nice to have somebody supporting you, but grow it more quickly than I wanted to sounds like pressure, right? Why is he pressuring her? What's his agenda? Does he have an agenda? Let's see. It rapidly consumed all my time, and I've had to sacrifice many things in my life for it to work. So that means they're going to have less time together. He has more free time to do whatever he wants, and her income, I'm sure, has gone up significantly. 4 months after moving into my house in 2018, he quit his job. Oh, perhaps there was an agenda for her to work so much, so he could stay at home and not work. Could that be true? Well, let's find out, right? He quit. I'll tell you, I do remember doing this email, even though I did it a bit back, because it made me so angry as I read it for her. All right, if that gives you any clue. He quit his job and told me that he needed to work on remodeling a house his mother bought him so they could rent it out. Sounds reasonable, maybe. But she didn't sign up to that when he moved in, did she? No. But after all this time, mind you, it was 2018. Let's see, 4 months after. So let's say, I think it was like August, she said. So it was around the end of 2018, he quit his job. So that's what? 2019, 2020, 2021? Like 4 years? 4 years? Okay. He told me he needed to work on remodeling a house his mother bought him so they could rent it out. But after all this time, he's still not working. Still not working. And he hasn't finished the house. Okay. Are you guys mad for her yet? Are you angry? Because I think she has every right to be angry about this. Number one, she didn't sign up for him not working when he moved in. And then he probably made the decision on his own, decides this is what he's going to do. And now it's going, 4 or 5 years? He's not working and the house isn't done? It's never been rented in the past 4.5 years. His mother continues to make the mortgage payments, and she puts money into the house occasionally. My partner spends all his time, ready for this? On hobbies, staying up late, going to concerts, and hanging out with friends. How would you like to be working 60 hours a week, paying all the bills, while your partner is doing hobbies, staying up late, going to concerts, and hanging out with friends. But wait, there's more, right? You knew there was going to be, right? His contribution to joint expenses is paying for groceries. Now remember, it's his son. So all he's doing is paying for her groceries. He still does his seasonal job on long weekends for a couple of months of the year, and while he's traveling, it's like he's dropped off the face of the earth. So now, a couple of months of the year, he goes off and does whatever he wants while he's doing this part-time seasonal job. Can you imagine being in her shoes? What do you guys think so far? Boyfriend material? I don't hear anything from him for days on end on the part-time photography job while he's out of town for weekends. Which triggers my anxiety and also pisses me off because I'm single parenting his son during those times. I like to see some interesting comments on this video. You deserve so much better than this. This is not okay. Whenever I try to talk to him about these issues, he either blows up or completely shuts down and stonewalls me. Well, think about it. If he blows up at you, now you have a big fight, you're not talking, and you get off his back. Or he stonewalls you, and he doesn't have to do anything different. Either way, guess what he's doing? Staying up late, going to concerts, hanging out with friends, and doing hobbies. This is really good, right? You're going to love this part. He often threatens to move back into the extra house his mom pays for. Oh no! You'll stop paying for my groceries? Oh no! She has every right to be angry, and I really hope that she is, because I was really angry reading this. This is not fair. Remember, she's working 60 hours a week. He pushed her into doing that, and he hasn't worked in almost 5 years to work on the house, which is almost 5 years now, and it's not even done. I would be like, great, you'll have more time at your mom's house to work on it to get it finished. It's a bluff. There's no way. He's living in fantasy land here. It's like he's a child or a teenager who does whatever he wants. He is not acting like an adult here at all. Okay, but wait, there's more. He said he's going to get a job, but he never does. Also, I'm not allowed to follow any of his social media accounts or be his friend on Facebook. Just when you thought it wouldn't get any worse, there you have it. She's not allowed. But she's allowed to pay all of his bills, right? While he hasn't worked in almost 5 years, or about 5 years. She's allowed to do that. She's allowed to pay all of his expenses. It's okay to do that. It's okay for her to take care of his son while he goes and works part-time and disappears for days on end a couple months of the year. That's okay. But she's not allowed to be on his social media. Why is that? Seems very, very suspicious to me, right? Seems like he's hiding her so he can get away with other things. His avoidant behavior makes me feel terrible and increasingly insecure and stressed out, and hopefully angry. I never wanted to be the only breadwinner in a relationship. His father passed away 2 years ago and left him some money, but it's not nearly enough to retire on at someone in his early 40s. Yeah, well, when you're paying all of his bills, he's already retired. I don't want the relationship to end, but I'm afraid he'll never change. Well, what motivation does he have to change? In the last 5 years, what have been the consequences? Nothing gets addressed. When you try to, he just explodes on you or stonewalls you. This guy is not respecting you at all. He's doing whatever he pleases and you're allowing it. and you can't allow it. Because what kind of a relationship is this? This is not healthy for you. It's miserable. Who would be happy in this situation? Him, obviously him, but anybody else. Being in your shoes, I meant. I resent him for not completing the remodel and for continuing to be mostly unemployed for the last 4 years. I also resent being encouraged to start a business that placed a significant stress and pressure on me while he bailed on it to go to work on his hobbies. If I'm the only one working on my attachment issues, is there any hope for this relationship? Not the way it's going. No. Why would he change? He has zero effort to change. He does what he wants. He's like a teenager. Doesn't it feel like he's a giant baby? What does he do to show you that he's acting like a responsible adult here or partner at all? He's completely taking you for granted. He's using you. He uses you to take care of his son. He uses you to pay all of his bills. And then what? Then he makes you feel awful, goes off and stays up late, does what he wants with his friends, and doesn't even let you look at his social media. I don't feel I can trust him to follow through with the things he'll say he'll do. Well, he's been lying about it for almost 5 years now, or about 5 years now. Why? Of course, why would you trust him? And he seems unmotivated to change. Yeah. What's his motivation here? He sees that you care about him and he's exploiting you. And I don't like that. This is completely unfair to you and unreasonable. And you're letting him get away with whatever he wants. Now, of course, he's an adult and he should be taking responsibility for himself, but he's not. And it's at your expense. You're exhausted, you're working hard because he pushed you into it, and I think that was his agenda from the get-go. To get you working hard so he could take you for granted and take advantage of you. And he has in everything that I've read here. I don't think he respects you. I don't think he respects your time, how hard you work. I think he knowingly pushed you into that career because he had that agenda. He doesn't seem to care about how you feel. And what kind of a partner is that? I mean, he just doesn't care. I don't see anything changing in this situation without you literally saying something along the lines of, you know what? I think it would be best for you to go live with your moms. That way you have plenty of free time to work on the house and get it done. And you should take your son with you. And she should. That's not your responsibility. And don't pay his bills anymore. You tell him that he needs to take care of his own bills. That you have allowed this for far too long, and that you're not going to allow it again. That you can't continue doing this with him again. This is a really frustrating situation, and it's tough when you care about somebody and they take advantage of you. But this is such an extreme example of being taken for granted and taken advantage of and being used. And I think if he really cared about you, he wouldn't do these things. I would strongly consider leaving this relationship. And I know it's tough when you care about somebody, but you have to care about yourself. And you have to care about yourself enough to leave somebody who's, is this abuse? What do you guys think? It's certainly bordering on it if it's not. He's doing the bare minimum. I feel like this guy is going to live to 150 because he hasn't worked his whole life. Meanwhile, you won't make it to 65 because you'll be killing yourself working 60 hours a week. It's important to set boundaries. It's important to learn to set healthy boundaries with people. Because when you don't, you see what happens with people like this. They take you for granted and they take advantage of you. Now, not everybody will do that, but some people will do it more than others. And I really hope that for you, you start to value yourself, your personal time, your money, and your happiness more than you value him. It's a tough situation, but I would not continue the way that you're going here. And if he's not willing to do something about it, I think you're going to have to. Because this is really, really unfair. Okay? Hopefully this situation has been helpful to you guys. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you could get it on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can find my workbooks there and the Creative Healing course. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.